Welcome to our second session on how to interact with the N3C data enclave. The first session we reviewed how to register with the system and get credentialed, and that takes a little time after you do that for NIH to verify that you are from an institution that has a data use agreement in place. The GW does, as well as Children's National. Sometimes if you have an email address that's not clearly affiliated with one of those two, we've had some issues with folks from the MFA because it has MFA in front of it. It may take an extra day or two to get linked, but once you get linked, then you have access. So now let's see what we can do now that we have access. I'm going to log in again through the login page, through the incoming credentialing. GWU is already selected here, so I'm just going to click on that. It brings me to the GW single sign-on. So you just throw in your regular GW credentials, and it authenticates you and then pops you back to the N3C enclave at unite.nih.gov. And the little bit of internet capacity here, we can pull up the site. So it's loading my dashboard. It's taking a while, but there it is. Okay, welcome to N3C Data Enclave. Keith, what would you like to do? So you can see it reminds you what's inside. Over 575,000 COVID positive patient records, over 2,800,000 total patient records from 39 sites, 3.3 billion rows of data, etc. So lots of different information, a little bit about the enclave, and there are a number of tabs up here. You can look at contributors, you can look at the data, there's support, contact, terms and conditions, discover, and also training. So I'd encourage you to think about clicking the training. There's a training portal. They have, and they have at the N3C, they have training outside the portal. So they have some basic training about what is going on here with the N3C and what are the different data types and things like that. But inside the portal, they have more specific training. And so this is a great way to get started and figure out what's going on. They're actually doing more training. In fact, I just went to one yesterday, and those are being video recorded. They have live events that you can sign up for, but they also are being video recorded, and those recordings are going to be, you're going to be able to access them here in the N3C enclave. So, and this is where they will be. If I can get my internet to behave itself and actually load something. It usually doesn't take this long. I don't know if it's my internet and my son doing high school at the same time, or if it's the enclave is especially busy today. I don't know, but here we go. So they have external training resources, they have module resources, and they have the live trainings, and we'll let you know where those are. And lots of other, you can submit tickets if you have issues. There is a Slack for the N3C community and for lots of different subgroups going on with NC3. So that's a good way to stay updated on what's available and what's going on. So let's go back to the dashboard if I can. And let's explore how you can, in addition to the data use agreement, the DUA, there are also DURs, so request data use requests. So the DUA is an institutional agreement between both GW, we have two, of course, one for GW and GW Hospital and the N3C, and one between Children's National and the N3C. Those DUAs are in place, and that's what allows us to get credentialed and access into the enclave. To actually get into the data, which is separate from getting into the enclave, you actually have to have a data use request approved by NIH. So you have to have a specific project in mind. You have to be able to articulate, at least in vague terms, what that project might be. And that project can simply be exploring data around this topic. And then submit your data use request, and it gets reviewed by a committee at NIH. And if approved, then they develop a project page for you. So you can also join projects. So I'm going to explore projects first and see what's out there. Notice there was also a quick start tour button. I'll show you that again just to get you going here, but that's hopefully what this video is helping with as well. But you can explore projects because all the projects that have approved data use requests are available here on this page. So you can see what's going on with these different projects. You can request to join projects. So here are the projects that you can join. Here are ones to explore. And you can see there are lots of different ones that are using different aspects of it. You can email the investigation leader. You can see what the institution lead investigator accessing institution is. Is it a project domain team? If the review status has been, if it's been accepted, if it's allow joining. So if it says allow, that means that you're, as a researcher, you're able to go in and join this group. And ideally through either a request to join button, or if there is no request to join one, this one's pending, so it doesn't have a request to join one. But all those that accept and allow joining have a request to join button. You can also email the lead investigators as well. So lots of different options there. There are also more projects to explore that are not allowing additional people to join. So fair enough, but it's good to look at these, especially as you're thinking about your project, to make sure you're not overlapping. And then there's operational projects, the technical development of the NC3 itself. And some of these you can join, some of these you cannot join. So, and we do have GW members that are already part of this. I'm part of the collaborative analytics group. We have others who are part of the data ingestion and harmonization group, etc. So we have, I think, people in almost every one of these operational projects. We do actually have, for example, if we look at George Washington to search projects, there's one. So Ivy has a project here that she's the lead investigator to email. George Washington University, so she's already figured out how to do this. Is this the domain team? No. Review status accepted. Allow joining allowed. So if you want to join Ivy's project, you just click request to join. And I'm going to do this because I'm technically not part of Ivy's project, although I've been talking to her quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and request to join and see what happens because I have no idea. It's populating my information. So the project title, Understanding Non-Invasive Ventilation Treatment Failures and COVID-19, has my information, has all the project information. Please complete the N3C data conclave institutional DUA attestation. So we do have that in place. So I can attest to that. I've completed the information security, information management training within the last year. I have done that. That's the city training. And here's a human subject city training. I have that. All my stuff is up to date. It wants my completion date, which I'll have to figure out and put in later because I didn't realize it would ask for that. But I can pop that in and then read and attest to the code of conduct. I'm going to look over here real quick and see if I can find my date of my city training. So many of these city trainings, it's hard to figure out which one they're actually looking for. All right, I'm gonna here, I found human subjects. That's why I can't find it, because this is when you only take once, and it's I took it 5/17/2013. So then there's the data use code of conduct, which includes that you're only going to use the data in the portal. It's only for COVID-19 related research and the study defined in your DUR that you're accessing, that you comply with various regulations. No attempt to identify institutions, communities, identifiable populations associated with the N3C data, maintain confidentiality of data accessible within the enclave and not distribute it, provide access to it, attempt to download it, or otherwise capture views of the NC3. So one of the things I won't be able to do is actually show you data, because that would be capturing a view, and we want these YouTube videos to show up on and be accessible to the broader community. So I won't actually show you any data. Provide appropriate acknowledgement, abide by the publication principles. So make sure you look through all that, and then you can attest to that. We do have an IRB in place, a shared IRB with GW and the N3C. So all that is good. And then you can click submit. And I presume that that means that somehow Ivy will get some information and be able to push some buttons and allow me into her project. Now there's another, I know that one of the other interesting projects that some folks at GW are interested in is specifically around HIV. So we can search on HIV and see what other projects are here. There are a bunch of them. And so you can see what other people are up to with respect to HIV and decide whether those look interesting and whether they're allowing you to join such projects, or if you want to do your own project. So let's go back and look and say, okay, I've looked through the projects. I know what's going on. I actually want to do something different. And so what we're going to do is go in, and actually this was the one I wanted. This is the project that we've been talking to Amy Olex from Virginia Commonwealth, looking at HIV positive individuals as well as COVID positive individuals, and looking at some aspects of that. So I'm going to actually go ahead and request to join this. And it brings me back to that same window. Populates my information, shows you this, the title of this one. This is the Immunosuppressed Compromised Task Force. And they have a number of sub-projects. HIV is one, but they also look at lupus and a variety of other things. Looking at the de-identified level 2 data for the patient records. So we have a data use agreement in place. So I'm going to say I attest to that. I completed information and security management training. And I have human subjects training, and my date I now know is 5/17/2013. And I attest that to the code of conduct, and we have an institutional IRB. Upload a PDF of your IRB determination letter. So if you need that, you can email me, or you can email Stephanie Salazar, because we both have copies of that. Here's the IRB approved by GW, so I'll upload that. So if you need that IRB, notice the last project didn't need an IRB. This project does need an IRB, or a copy of our institutional IRB, although Ivy actually has an IRB for hers as well. Okay, now we can submit. And at some point I can report back to whether that was useful or not. All right. Now I'm going to click to the home page. Now, again, these are to join existing projects, but you may very well want to develop your own project. So how do you go about doing that? That's where you hit the request data use. And here it walks you through the steps of figuring out your project and what kind of information you need to submit. So you can also request to join an existing project through here as well, but we just did that. So we're going to create a new project. So by including a title, some abstract, some project rationale, whether you're going to allow other people to join the project or not, who collaborators might be and where they're from, collaborators' email, what data sets. There are 3 different data sets that you can access. The limited data set, level 3, this is the identified data. So the de-identified data, level 2, and then the synthetic data, which are data that are not real, as you might imagine by the name, but have exactly the same properties as the data in the enclave. So you can do studies on any of these. Most are probably interested in accessing level 2, and you just fill that out and push submit, and then your project will then show up on that project home page for others to take a look at and join if they want. And then you can, if you click projects, you can see all the projects. It's easier to explore on the dashboard. So that's pretty much it in terms of actually getting into specific projects and developing your own project within the N3C data enclave. Hopefully that helps. Again, there's lots of training. There's a quick start tutorial right here that you can do. And there's much more available in the Academy. So I'd encourage you to, first of all, go through the first video, figure out how to get registered, get in, start doing some of the tutorials, explore the projects, start interacting with folks. And then if you're interested in developing your own project, then certainly go right ahead and develop your own project. And there are lots of different things you can explore. And they're making it fairly easy. They're also developing live support within the enclave. I'm not sure that's active yet, but here's the quick start tutorial you can work through. Lots of great things here at the N3C Data Enclave. Once you get into it, there are a lot of things outside the enclave, just at the website, but there's a lot more once you get into it. So I encourage you all to register and start having fun with it. Hopefully that helps a bit. If you have questions, let the CTSI informatics team know, and we can walk you through some things. So we're happy to help. Take care.